Okay, guys, sorry, the last video ran out of battery. But anyway, so I rewrote the last part, and that was the idea. So we had dy over dx is cosine, I'm sorry, it was cosine y, but we don't want y, we want in terms of x. So I used, we used the relationship we have, we go back to SOHCAHTOA, so the sine of x equals x over, sine of y equals x over 1, make a triangle, the angle is y. It looks a little weird, but the sine of something is the angle. We know it's opposite over hypotenuse, and we find the third side by Pythagoras' theorem. It's the square root of 1 minus x squared. Therefore, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and therefore dy dx is 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared. Therefore, our cosine and our tangents are kind of easy. Those are easy because it's the same idea. You know what the derivative of cosine is. It's negative sine. What's the derivative of tangent? Secant squared. You actually could find, the derivative. You can find this for all of them. And now the problem though is, and then you have your original relationship. You create your triangle, find the missing sides, and then substitute it at the end. The problem is, it's not a problem. It's not a problem per se. The problem is they gave you, it's not a problem. They'll give you something like this. They'll say, find dy dx if y equals arc tan of 4x. So, yes, you can go to the formula book, but I don't want you to go to the formula book. I want you to figure this on your own, right? I want you to figure this one out on your own. So, what's going on here? You say, fine, Mr. Adler, 4x equals tan y. You undo that, take that out. You're like, this is fine. Take the derivative of both sides. Actually, let's write this as x equals, no, I apologize. Let's just leave it. Take the derivative of both sides. Okay, this is 4. The derivative of 4x is 4, and the derivative of tan y is secant squared of y dy dx. Fine. And then you have dy over dx equals 4 over secant squared of y. We have to get that out of there. No big deal, because we know what secant is. It's the inverse, it's reciprocal of cosine, so we're good. We've got to be careful up here. Now, you'll notice that the 4's are they end up everywhere. But we're fine with that. So, tangent of y equals 4x. Okay, let's make our triangle. Fine. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. 4x over 1. Right? But we need to find the secant. And we know that if the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, the secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. That's fine. We just need the hypotenuse now, which is no big deal. Let's just call that h, right? So h squared equals 1 squared plus 4x squared. I'm going to leave this. So h is equal to the square root of 1 plus 4x squared, right? So if the secant of y is the hypotenuse over 1, secant squared is equal to 1 plus 4x squared over 1. And so that means dy over dx is equal to 4 over 1 plus 4x squared. And you might be saying, well, you know what? That looks like the derivative of 4x, and that's the 4x in the formula where it seems to go here. And yeah, that makes sense. Once again, I don't want you memorizing the formulas. But once you do the sine, cosine, and tangent, think the tangent you'll see is 1 over the square root of 1 plus x squared. It's different. You'll see. It's interesting. No, it's actually, this actually is 1 over 1 plus x squared. Yeah. And so that's where that comes from. But anyway, be careful with the arithmetic. The last one I want to show you out of the book is y equals, what do they ask? It's tricky stuff. 1 over the, y equals the arc cosine of the square root of x minus 3. You're like, what is that? Take it slow. First, undo the arc. So you're like, fine. The cosine of y is equal to the square root of x minus 3. Just take it slowly. We have our relation of cosine of y. This is going to be the adjacent in the triangle. We're fine with that. Take the derivative of both sides. Negative sine y dy dx is equal to 1/2 x minus 3 to the negative 1/2. The derivative of this is 1, so we're fine. We're in good shape. Okay, isolate the dy dx. dy over dx is equal to 1 over 2 sine of y, negative 1, 2 sine of y, square root of x minus 3. Don't get freaked out. They're just numbers. There's a lot of manipulation. IB loves this stuff. This is where they get you on the part 1. They just love, they want to see who can just do the grind. And you're like, I got it. Let's get rid of the sine of y. Easy. We have our triangle. We know that this side is x minus 3. I know the hypotenuse is 1. Use Pythagoras' theorem. I guess I shouldn't have called that. Well, whatever. I mean, I guess I should use a different letter, right? But let's call this h for height. That's hypotenuse. So we have x minus 3 plus x squared. I squared this. Equals 1. X squared equals 4 minus x. X equals radical 4 minus x. Therefore, we're done, right? Therefore, the sine of y is equal to radical 4 minus x. Final answer, don't hate me, negative 1 over 2 times radical 4 minus x times radical x minus 3. Are we done? Yeah, good luck with all the homework I'm giving you.